Welcome to the Purpose Driven Mom Show, episode 378. Today, I'm actually going to be giving you a bonus class on how to use Trello for your holiday planning. Now, inside the Purpose Driven Mom Club, which is my group coaching program, we have a course that you get and tons of cool bonuses. One of the bonuses is a masterclass library where we have 24, I think a couple more actually, 24 plus videos on specific topics. SOAR, the program inside, helps you figure out how to manage your goals, how to break them down. The library helps you get specific. And we have one in there that I'm going to share with you today. And it's how to use Trello to manage your holidays. Trello is a free tool. It is my favorite organizational system. And you can use Trello to really get the holidays organized. Right now, we are in our end of year holiday planning challenge. Right now, we are helping moms figure it out. I'm going to show you some of the stuff we're showing them this week. In this episode today, what you're going to get to do is watch me teach on Trello. So listen, if you're watching on YouTube, you've got the visual. If you're listening on the podcast, I'm going to highly suggest you scroll up in your player or go to apurposedrivenmom.com/podcast 378, where you can watch the video. Trello is very visual. I do my best to try to explain it, but because it is so visual, I highly recommend you go watch the video after you listen to it. If you're in the car, listen to it now. And then if you want to watch it, you can head to our YouTube channel where we're putting all the episodes of the podcast up there for now. We also have a Trello template. So if you want to use this specific template for your holiday plannings, it's over at apurposedrivenmom.com/podcast 378, and it's in the show notes. And if you like Trello, you want to learn more about how to use it as a tool, make sure you head to apurposedrivenmom.com/club. Right now, the waitlist is up, but on Friday the 30th, we are having the Purpose Driven Mom Club open for our final cohort where you can learn more and join us. So enjoy the episode today. Get to watch this video, see me do some behind the scenes Trello teaching, and let's get your holidays organized. To this masterclass on how to create a plan for the holidays. We're going to toggle back and forth between a Trello board that I've made and actually planning. And what I'd love for you to do is go through it and look and think, how can I plan for the holidays now? So here's the thing. We need to start now for the holidays. You don't want to get into December and realize you haven't planned, you haven't thought about it, you haven't broken it down. By starting now and early, you're giving yourself enough time to make the plan. We know that one of the things that we struggle with is spending time making the plan, right? You say, oh, I'm going to make my plan for the next month. And then the month starts and you don't have it done and you're throwing your hands in the air, unsure of what to do. So I want you to spend time doing it now as a gift to yourself. The holiday season is stressful enough. You do not want to add to your stressor. You want to make sure that this is something set up for success on your end. Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to cover how to use Trello to map your holiday season. I want to make it clear. You don't need to use Trello. You could use whatever you want. I like to do it on Trello. I'm going to give you a Trello board for it so that you're able to easily see everything in one place. And I'll talk about why I like Trello. If you are feeling like those weird feelings in your stomach when I talk about Trello, thinking, I can't do it, Cara, bust out your notepad, get whatever you need. It's okay. The principles work no matter what system you use. You just have to use the system. So we're going to backwards plan your holiday tasks. We're going to talk about creating a budget now. We're going to talk about holiday meal planning, gift lists, and more. And we're just going to kind of toggle back and forth between some notes and presentation stuff I want to make sure that I cover to keep on track. And I'm going to show you how to do it in the Trello board. So if you're ready, let's jump in. Now, I like to use Trello to keep organized, and I've made this list for you for a few reasons. One is that Trello is something you can use on your computer and your phone. And when it comes to things like creating shopping lists, when it comes to things like menu organization, I want it on my phone. I want to be able to see it if I'm at the store and I see something on sale and I can't remember if I already got my niece a gift. If I have it organized on one board, it's going to make it a million times easier. Now, the other reason that it's going to be super helpful to use Trello is because you can add people to the board. So my encouragement to you is going to be adding your partner, adding other stakeholders. If your kids are old enough and you need them to help clean, if you want your spouse like on the board to be like, hey, you need to go pick up this gift, or can you put the RSVP card list on there for the party, whatever it is. You can put multiple people on a board. We used a board for my sister's bachelorette party that was so incredibly helpful because it allowed us to go through and be on the same page. Who was bringing what to the bachelorette party and what dress were you wearing so that we didn't have the same dresses for the bridal, the wedding and things like that. I love group boards for big events. There are some ways we can customize this board, but then there's some other ways we can break things down. So first step first, we need to drop your events in. Before we plan anything, you have to ask yourself, what am I even planning for? What is the end goal? What events are coming up in October, in November, in December? Because if you don't know that, the rest of it's not going to fall in. We often will say, okay, great, time to plan for the holidays. Let me go make a list of all the gifts I need. No, friend. You're skipping steps there. You need to take the time to go with the end in mind. So what we're going to do is hop into Trello. I'm going to show you the board, and I'm going to show you how you should create a list for each of your events. And then you make the checklists so that they're all in one place. When you plan in advance, it allows you to, one, say no to things if you've got too many events happening. But what it also allows you to do is batch things. So if you're planning October, November, December, and you know all the times that you need to make cookies for a holiday party in October, November, and December, you easily could start shopping ahead when you see flowers on sale. Like the grocery stores will put certain foods on sale right around the holiday times. So if you know that you are making like 10 dozen cookies from now until January or whatever it is, and you know your recipes and you know how many cups of flour you need for those cookie recipes, then when flour's on sale for like 50 cents a box or 3-pound bag or $1 a bag or whatever special you can find, you can stock up in advance. You could say to yourself, hey, I already know where I'm going and I know how I can batch them together. You could make those cookies in advance and freeze them. Like, you know that you have all these cookie exchanges, and if you're saying, oh, I'm going to make a dozen of them for, I don't know, for Thanksgiving, well, then instead you could also say, all right, well, while I'm making these dozen for Thanksgiving, I'll just make 2 more dozen for Christmas and stick them in the freezer. And then when it's Christmas time, I don't have to do it again. It is such a strategic and smart way to go about it. Okay, so let's talk about this Trello board that is a template. So you're going to go up here where it says create board from template, and you are going to put it on whatever team you want, call it whatever you want. I'm just going to call it Holiday Planning Masterclass, just so I know that I have this one here, and I'm just going to save it under no template. Recommend keeping the cards. Okay, and I actually think, yeah, I'm going to give you a blank one. I was going to give you the one that I'm doing, but I'm like, no, I'll edit in this one, and you can have the blank one. All right, so let's walk through the board real quick. On Trello, these are the lists. Underneath each list is some cards. Okay, so I've made this for you. You can delete things, click this 3 little dots, archive whatever you want, customize it. There are a couple lists that I think are important to have before we start the planning. One is a resources tab. This resources tab is where you can put links to things you want to buy or things you want to remember, or if you have, I've got some like courses or books I've bought from like the Ultimate Bundles that would fit for holiday planning. I could put them here. I also like to make a thought catcher because I'm going to think of a million things, or I'm going to see a million ideas and be like, oh, I definitely should be doing this, or I need to remember this, but I don't want to just forget it. And I also don't want to stop, drop, and do. I want to plan. So this is where you can just click here and add in any cards you want. This is where we're going to go next, which is holiday dates and events. We're going to make a master to-do list, and then we're going to break down budgets, meals, gifts, keep your holiday card list, kids' activities, and then we can add some more stuff in. Okay, so just to give you an overview of the board. Now, the first thing up is your dates and events. So let's go through and say, okay, what do you have for October? So October, we've got trunk or treat. Really don't have anything. October is a great time to plan your holidays because there's not as much going on, but maybe you have birthdays or things like that. So you can go in, and then what I'd love for you to do is put a due date on when it is. So if I know the trunk or treat's like on Saturday, which is actually Halloween, I'm going to put it in there. Okay. I've also enabled the calendar power up so that you can, when everything's done, you hit calendar and everything from all your lists will kind of merge together. So if I keep going, so we've got Dean's birthday. That's my oldest. He's going to be 14. We'll click the little shortcut button here, change the due date for November. His birthday's November 4th, but maybe we're having a party a different day. This is a good time to think, like, honestly, I haven't thought about when we're going to have his party. So I'm like, ooh, his birthday's hen. We'll probably have a family party on the 7th. So I'm going to save that and I'm going to change this to party. So I'm glad I'm doing this because I honestly haven't even thought about it. And then you're like, all right, I've got Thanksgiving. We've got, the kids' harvest parties. We've got Christmas. I have my sister's having a baby, so we've got my sister's baby shower. all of the events are here. So you're going to just put everything you have going in the holiday season. If you know that you have a work party, if you know that you're doing a Zoom happy hour with friends, if you know that you host a cookie exchange, if you know that you always host Thanksgiving dinner, whatever it is that you want to remember, I want you to make a huge list and plan this out, because this is going to allow you to then really, really break things down. Okay, so step one is just, I always talk about working vertically and not horizontally. This is what I mean. Step one is just make the list, put the dates in, okay? Now, once we've got that, it's time to kind of make a huge to-do list and a brain dump of everything that has to get done. I always start with putting on a timer, and I recommend you just kind of dump it all out. So let's jump into Thanksgiving card. All right, so we'll put a due date here. Thanksgiving is, I think it's this day. And then I'm going to make a checklist, which is like my master to-do. Now, you can do this a few ways. You can make a master to-do list. You can categorize it to plan. The categories I've used are to plan, to buy, to create, to clean. Oh, we can make another one. Oh, I have one for make. I was going to say to make. I didn't see it down here. To make, okay? So you could either have checklists that are these categories, or honestly, you could just brain dump them. Let's make the checklists that work. To plan, and make another checklist. To buy, to create, to make, and I can't remember what I said the last one was, to clean. Now, if you want to do the checklist like this, what I recommend is you actually copy the card each time. So this is Thanksgiving. Instead of making a brand new card, just hit copy here, and then we can call this one like Christmas. And then your checklists are already kind of like pre-populated for you, and then you don't have to do them. So look, if we click here, your Christmas card is here. Obviously, we got to change the date on that. Go. And your checklists are here. So just a little bit of a time saver. You don't have to remake all those. But say it's something like this, and I just want to do like a huge brain dump. You can just make one checklist that's just like master to do. Again, do it on paper, no worries. So as we go into this, let's go back to, let's go into Christmas. So as we go into this, I want you to put on a 15-minute timer, and I want you to brain dump all of the things. I want you to go ahead and say, what are the things I have to do? Well, everything starts here with planning. So I need to plan like gifts. I need to plan like dinner menu. I need to plan like a cleaning schedule. I need to plan out a cookie exchange. Okay, so all the things you need to plan, you're going to put there in this column. Then, again, you've put on a timer, and you could probably do, I would say 5 to 10 minutes per event. I don't think you need a full 15 minutes to think of everything. I honestly think you could get it done in 5, 10 minutes max per event. So put on a 5-minute timer and just go. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay, so what are some things I need to buy? I need to buy teacher gifts. I need to buy Secret Santa gift. We need a new star for the tree. Okay, so you brain dump those. Let's keep going. What are some things I need to create? Grandparents, gifts from kids, because, you know, that's how we roll around here. I need to create like a family holiday card. We don't really do holiday cards, but I know a lot of people do. Okay, brain dump them all. Some things I need to make. This would kind of be like make cook. So it'd be like, I need to make peanut butter cookies. I need to make appetizers to bring for a party, whatever it is, all the things you need to make. And then last, to clean. Like, obviously you want to clean your whole house, but like, and maybe in particular, you're like, I need to clean the living room because that's where we put the tree. I want to clean the front yard so that it's good for lights or whatever. We don't put lights up, so I'm trying to think of how we do it. Whatever it is, go ahead, brain dump all of it. Okay, brain dump it all in there. Again, 5-minute timer, get going. You're going to have a lot of master checklists. Now, there's a couple things we're going to do before we bring it into the master to-do list. And I just want to remember if I want to do it. Yep, okay. So I said this, you know, I just keep notes up here to remind myself to not miss anything. But we've created our checklist, and we're going to batch things together. So once we've kind of gone ahead and done that, let's do it for a couple. Let's do it for trick-or-treating or trunk-or-treating too. I'm just going to make a master to-do list under this one because there's not really like a lot I have to do here. I need to like buy the candy. I need to make costumes for kids. I want to decorate pumpkins. Okay. I need to plan, what is it called? Like the trunk activity if I'm participating in it. Okay, so I've got 2 to-do lists here. So this is what I want you to do when you have all your to-do lists on. Now you could batch this. You could say, on Monday, I'm going to put on a 15-minute timer and do just October. On Tuesday, I'm going to put a 15-minute timer on and do just November. On Wednesday, I'm going to put a 15-minute timer on and do just December. That totally works. Okay? So I want you to go through, and I want you to have all of your lists. Now, here's where it's going to get fun, because we're going to take those and we're going to batch everything here for a master to-do list. So this way, again, like I mentioned earlier, if you're making the peanut butter cookies for Thanksgiving, just make another dozen, stick them in the freezer, pop them in the oven on Christmas, okay? So this is where it's really gonna help. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna copy over, and again, paper, pen, same concepts, the card to the next one under master to-do list. Okay, and what we're gonna do is multi-step. So you're going to go into each card, step 1. Then we're going to take everything on the to-do list and we're going to make them individual cards. So we're just going to click here and we're going to convert it to card. Okay, now once this is done, we're going to archive this card because we don't need this big card anymore. And look, we've got all these cards here. Yes, they're not organized, but they're here. Now the next step you're going to do, so we're going to batch, ready? We've just batched, making it all a card. Now we're going to batch labels. So you're going to go into label and you're going to pick a color. Let's go orange, and we're going to call it whatever it is, Halloween. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now you're going to go through and batch labels. So I can use the keyboard shortcut. So if I just put my cursor over here and hit 3, that's all I'm doing. You could also just go in here, click label, and add it there. So now it's all batched by event. This way, when you kind of mix your list up together, you know what goes for what, so you can prioritize dates. All right, so once we're here, we're going to move things under where they need to go. So we're going to move to buy candy here. We're going to move, make costumes can stay here, decorate pumpkins, maybe to create. And you can make more, you could put one for kids activities, whatever you want. Plan, all right, and we're going to plan a trunk activity. Okay, so now you can see I've used these as separators, and I've gone ahead and I've got them all planned out under what I'm going to do. Now, you have 2 options. You could stop right here and you can put due dates on things, or you can wait and you can do it once you're all done. Now, I recommend waiting, but some people might be like, oh, I don't want to forget what the holiday is, because again, if you're under buy candy and maybe you want to buy candy for Halloween, but you also want to buy candy for a Thanksgiving craft or something like that, you can just buy all the candy at the same time, batch it, put it somewhere, and then you have it. And what's cool is when you put it somewhere, you can just go into the card and say, this is in the hall closet. So you don't forget where you put it. You're like, where did I put that candy? And then you find it 6 months later, and you're like, oh, right, I was gonna use that for something. Or maybe just me, guilty as charged, right? Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go into the Christmas card. We're gonna copy it again. We're gonna move it here. We're gonna do the same thing. Okay, so now I've got this card here on the bottom. I'm gonna click inside and I'm gonna convert all these things to cards. Take everything out that was in a checklist and convert it all to a card. Okay, dokie, here we go. All right, we got a lot more things, obviously, because it's a heavy hitter. And then once we're done, we're gonna archive it. I'm gonna delete it. We don't need it anymore. And then we're gonna label it. So let's make a label. We'll call green Christmas. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead here and give all my labels first. Again, batch, 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 batch. Super easy. The reason it's popping up is because there's 2 green labels and it wants us to just decide which one we're picking. I'm just hitting the number 1, which is the keyboard shortcut for green. It's just, you just hover over it and hit a number and you can get a color. Okay, so now I've got this done, and now we're gonna drag and drop. So I need to, this was my to plan. So let's move all this up here. All right, lots of things we're planning here. All right, I don't think I have, all right, let's see, teacher gifts to buy. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna do, oh, I'm almost done, okay. Just, I put a lot of things in here. Okay, cool. All right, so now I'm organized here. Now pretend this is like a massive list. The final step is gonna be changing the to-do list dates. So you can go into the date and say, I need to plan my trunk activity I know that it has to be done for this day. I want to give myself enough time to do it, so I'm going to put it on October the 5th. All right. I need to plan my dinner menu for Christmas. Well, backwards plan. If I want to be done, if I want to shop for the food, by the second week I want to be done shopping by the second week in December so that I can just put things in my freezer or whatever. Obviously, I need to get freshed up. I want to make sure my dinner plan is done before that. So then I can go back and change dates. Now, what's cool is, say you had dinner menu for Christmas and you had dinner menu for Thanksgiving. Don't you think it would make sense to just plan them both at the same time because they're pretty much the same menu with a couple changes? So when you're planning, you can just plan them both at the same time and you can batch it out. So let's say we're going to plan Thanksgiving dinner menu and Christmas on November the 2nd so that it's done. All right. Now, remember I mentioned I added the calendar power up. So this is in here. So all you have to do is scroll down and you can see everything will be labeled once you label it and look all pretty, see, and good to go. Okay. Now, we've gone through and I want you to plan all this. Again, put on timers. Spend 15 minutes a day on this board by the end of the month because, again, October is so light that I feel like you don't need a ton of time to plan October stuff. By the end of the month, you'll have a ton of things ready to go and super organized, and you'll feel really on top of everything you've got going on. Now, the next step is the budget. So we're going to talk about the budget. If you want to start the next year feeling not like a frazzled mess, but instead feeling, wow, okay, I can do this. I am totally in charge of my budget. I didn't break the bank. I didn't put everything on credit cards. Please budget for your holidays. It's so easy to spend a ton of money on gifts. It's so easy to spend a ton of money on food. It's so easy to just spend a ton of money on a ton of things. And you don't have to do that at all. That's not something that is needed. So instead, why don't you go through and be smart about it? Go through and say, okay, here's my budget. This is what I'm going to do. And if you don't know, I want you to start with an estimate or a range, and then it'll help you keep track so that next year you know. If next year you know how much you spent on Halloween, then you can start what's called a sinking fund, which is where you would say you spent $100 on, we'll say $120 on Halloween, or let's say 110. Say you spent $110 on Halloween on whatever you did, costumes and I don't know, whatever else you spent. What you could do is when you get to the end of the the end of the month in November, you know that you need to save $10 a month, in order to have $110 by next October. So that's easy math. You just took 110, divided it by 11 months because you have 11 months till you need to start using the money again. And then you're putting $10 aside in a little envelope for Halloween. So when it comes next year, you're done. All right. So this is how I organize it in this board. You can do it here. So under holiday budgets, now I do want to show you, there is a cool power up. So I'm using the free. We have to remove the calendar. So you can decide which power up you want, but there is one called Costello. So let's disable this one. And then let's add another power up in, and I'll show you how you can use it for budgeting. Okay, so now I've got Costello. Hopefully, did that work? I don't know if it worked, hold on. Costello, add. Okay. I don't know if it added, hold on. Let me hit refresh and see if it added. That was weird that it didn't add. Costello allows you to track finances. So if you don't want the calendar power up, what you could do is you could put Costello on there, and then on it, it will track how much you've spent so far. So I don't know why it's not adding. I'm going to try it one more time, and then we'll just kind of move on. But I really wanted to show you it because it's so cool. There we go. Just need an upgrade. Okay. So here's Costello. This is here now. There's a whole bunch of settings here. What you have to do is you have to edit and have fields. So this would be something like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Okay, so all of your events would be a different field. Now let's look at the top. You see here, these Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and total cost. So this is how you could track your budgets. So let's make a card, and it's just called Halloween, spending, Thanksgiving spending, Christmas spending. Okay, so once you're inside, what you're gonna do is you could take pictures and right from your phone, you could like attach the receipt of whatever you're using. So you could keep the receipts, or you can kind of just keep a running list. So say you decided you have $110 of Halloween spending, which what I do is I would take a picture of the receipt every time I spend money. And then you go, well, first you have to set the budget. So if you go to add Halloween spending and hit 110, okay, see how it says Halloween up here? And look, it says Halloween here. So that's how much is left in your budget. So then say I buy something. So then maybe here I'll say like costumes, $55, and I'll attach the receipt here. Then you can go back in to Halloween, and under cost, you're gonna hit -55. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, I did that wrong. 110, all right, sorry. You're gonna go into add total cost. Wait, hold on, I'm sorry. That is not right. Give me a second. It's supposed to go through. Okay, so when you go in here, oh, because it's the same amount, hold on. I'm like, wait a minute. So we're gonna say -50, say we used $50. Oh, sugar, sorry guys. This is supposed to take the amount off. So I'm gonna play with it and I'll add a second video of why it's not doing what I want it to do. I'm gonna try one more time. Sorry, Castella's being funky today. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's add a second card for a second and see if this lets us do it. My fault. I'm gonna call an audible. I'm gonna go -50. Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry. I was like, wait a minute. So what you could do is you can make, I would say you want to make like a divider again. So let's make a cover divider. So I just made those by clicking into the box, hitting cover, doing this, and then you can make it full screen or not full screen. Or you could even, I could search for a photo. Let's search for a photo. Halloween. See what comes up. Of course, my computer is not cooperating. Okay, so let's call that one Halloween. Okay, so this is the Halloween budget, so scary. And I don't like that I can't see that, so I'm gonna update it like that. Okay, here's my Halloween budget. And then everything that goes under this is Halloween. You make one for Thanksgiving, etc. So we'll drag that up. So you have to make a card every time you spend money. So you'd make one that is like your starting, or again, you could have it in this card. This one could be the one that's called like 110. And then we'll get rid of this one. And then every time you spend money, it changes the amount. So you would say like, this would be Halloween spending, costumes, $50, receipt attached, right? Go into Costello, hit -50, and then as you look up here, it went from 110 to 50, so 60. So it shows you what you have left in your budget. So that's one way you can track your budgets here. But I recommend you spend time, again, after you've done your to-do list, and you plan out your budgets. This way, you know what you're planning to spend, and you're keeping track of it. If you go over, if it doesn't align the way you want it to align, that's totally fine. This might be the first year you're doing this, so just let it be a test year. Make a budget, and then if you break it a little bit, but at least you know for next year. Now, don't go and say my budget is $300 because that's all I have, and then you spend $1,000 by putting on a credit card. No. But if you say your budget's $300 and you wind up forgetting about something and you spend $350, just track it. Track it for next year. After you're done with your budgets, we're going to create your holiday meals. This will let you shop in advance, like I mentioned with the flour example, or in bulk. You can repeat your recipes. You don't have to plan them a million times. You can keep them organized, and you can keep your shopping lists on Trello so that you have them for the store. So this is the next list, which is your holiday meals. And again, I've made you some cover boards here. So you can make new cards under here for like meal ideas, like, oh, that's a really good spinach dip that I want to make. And what you could do is actually, let's open Pinterest. Is we can attach Pinterest links kind of right in there. So I don't know about you, but like I'm always searching and can never find everything that I need. So if I'm searching here for like, here we go, holiday meals. Let's search for holiday meals. And I'm like, oh, great, this looks great. I can attach either the pin or I can go directly to the website and I can attach the link to the website. We'll pretend this is spinach dip. We'll hit attachment, boom, boom, boom. And now we've got a link here so that I have it and it's saved, okay? Other things you can plan with your holiday meals are if you're like, all right, well, I know that I'm going to make like a ham and I know that I'm going to make a roast and I know that I'm going to make potatoes, okay? Now, you can make 2 lists. You can make Thanksgiving, and then if you want to just like copy it, you can just hit copy list. And so this one could be like Christmas. This one you can go in and change to Thanksgiving. So you really can, you really can just customize them, or you could keep them on one. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make shopping lists, and then you can combine your shopping lists. Now, what's going to be cool about this is if you go ahead and you have like, all right, let me click this real quick. If you go ahead and you have your shopping list for Thanksgiving and you have your shopping list for Christmas under one, or even just on Trello, when you're at the store, you can pull it up to look and see what you need. So I'm going to just scroll down and copy over ingredients for this pork loin recipe with a very slow computer. Here we go, all the way at the bottom. So I'm just going to copy all that. And I'm going to go back into my card. And I'm going to call this like pork loin. And we're going to go into the card. Let's create a checklist. Ingredients. And I'm going to paste it all in and hit add. And it adds the whole thing, and you don't have to type anything. The crowd goes wild. I know, guys, I know. So you can have it all saved in here, and then you know what it is. So when you're making your shopping list, all you have to do is copy, move it down to this one, bring it in at the bottom, boom, boom, boom. It's now here, and we're going to go back to that convert to card. Oops. Oh, whoops. Let's drag it down. I didn't put it in the right spot. We're going to drag it to here, and then we're going to go back to convert to card. Now, obviously, we don't need like that, but ready? Convert to card, convert to card, convert to card. I'm not going to do the whole thing. And then you delete this card, and look, under shopping list, now you have everything you need. You could go in. You could make labels, pantry items, produce, spices. Then you can put it all together. So once you have everything like this, you can go through and say, okay, I bet for like 5 recipes, I needed paprika. So then I see I need 1 teaspoon of paprika for 5 recipes. I should just write down to buy a bottle of paprika. Like I don't need everything there. And this lets you organize it, okay? All right, so once we've got our meals done, very excited, we're gonna talk about gifts. So now you can shop smart. When you have a gift list, you're not double buying. You're not forgetting where you hide things. I forget all the time where I hide things. And then I find them and I'm really mad. Like, oh my gosh, this was supposed to be a teacher gift and I forgot about it. You got to put it on Trello. We are going to also do this so that we can shop sales. So as I go in here, this is your gift list. I've made 3 covers for you to buy what you've bought and to wrap. So you can start in here with like it's my sisters, put their names in. And then I like using this board all year round because then I can put ideas. So if my sister shares something from like a Facebook ad she wants and it's on her page, like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Look at this New Kids on the Block lunch box or whatever she shared the other day. I can take that link, save it under an attachment, and save it for when I'm ready to buy her a gift. Then I'm like, hey, 4 months ago on her Facebook, she shared this cool thing. I'm going to buy it for her for Christmas. And she's going to think, oh, how did you remember that I wanted that? And I win Christmas. So you can do the exact same thing. So you can save Pinterest things, direct links, whatever it is. You can put coupon codes in here. You can make gift list ideas. Just make checklists for yourself. You can assign. So I mentioned that in the beginning. Say you want to assign, pretend this is my name. You do have to add someone to the board. You add them to the board. That's my husband. And we'll say, buy your mom a gift, right? For my mother-in-law. And then it's all there. And they know they're in charge of doing that. Then once you buy the gifts, you can move it down here. And then you can type in here, I bought that New Kids on the Block lunchbox. It's in the hall closet. Boom. It cost $12. Boom. Now I know everything I need to know for next year. And it's all organized. And you can also even move it down when you're ready to wrap it and where they go. All right, so that's how we use the holiday card list. And then the gift list. I didn't talk about these two. So the holiday card list is where you can put people's addresses. So here's an example here. This is like you put your mom's name. You can make labels. Did you send them a card? Do you need to send them a card still? Do you need to buy stamps? You put their address in here, and then this way you know. If you get holiday cards from people, you could save them in there. I don't send holiday cards, but I do like to keep a record of who sends me them so I could reach out personally and say, hey, thanks, I got your holiday card. And the last column I added was kids' activities. So if you want to go ahead and plan kids' activities, you could go in here and say like Christmas crafts, give it a cover. And then again, I like to use these covers to separate things. And then what you could do is you could just say like reindeer. Maybe there's like a reindeer craft or like a tree craft or whatever. And you could go ahead again, pin them here on Pinterest, and then they're here for you. So I feel like we've gotten a really comprehensive plan on what to do for your holidays in this quick master class. And now it's time to do it. So I would love for you to schedule it out, okay? I said get it, don't. I meant to get it done. Schedule 15 minutes every single day to do this, okay? If you're in the Purpose Driven Mom Club while you're watching this, on October 14th at 2 p.m., we're doing a mid-month co-working session. So you could bring your boards to the co-working session and we'll work on this together. But I really suggest you start now. This is going to be your place to brainstorm. And then next year, all you have to do is copy your own board and you've got it started already. Delete what you don't need and you don't have to remake it. So spend time this year doing it. I know you're going to thank yourself. If you have any questions, let me know.